record. Okay, recording. Good. Okay, episode or session 31. This is December 23rd, 2024. And I thought today would be a little bit of reflection and then a little bit of goal setting and planning for 2025 so we can look back and then be able to keep each other supported and accountable toward what the 2025 goals are and what you all hope to accomplish, because we all know resolutions and goals are very prominent during the first month of the year, and then sometimes they slip away. So if we set some things and some intentions on paper or on a Google Doc or on stone, however you want to say it, and then we can kind of go back to these things, I thought it would be interesting. Hi, Shauna, welcome. It would be interesting to even create a shared document while we're doing this too. So those of us who want to multitask could even put their things in during this time. So I'm going to do that and I'll put the link in the chat. But let's just start with kind of like a high level 20 written in blood. Oh, yes, of course. Coffin, coffee cup. No, just coffee cup productions, but the coffin is kind of insinuating. Let's start high level with reflections, just to take a moment and go, okay, maybe you can't even think back past last week or last month. That's fine. If you want to high level 2024, I mean, some of you directed things for the first time, made things, made connections, whatever. Let's just do a high level reflection. What stands out, something you're very proud of that you accomplished this year in 2024 or in the last whatever season. You can share however you do that. And it'd be cool if everybody would share something. And this is an opportunity to brag and say, I did this dang thing. I made a goal. I said it, I accomplished it. And here I am in 2024. I would love to hear that. So hi, Figo, welcome. We're just going to do a high level reflection before we start talking about goals and stuff. Anybody want to start?
I'll I'll start just because I'm stationary for a moment, but I
Good.
won't. Um, oh, so accomplishments and goals. I mean, I think applying for tax credits and getting them for Ohio was something it felt like it took a lot of bravery on my part, like in something that I'm not comfortable with to say, okay, we can do this and we can commit to shooting this, even though we don't have the money yet or anything.
Mm-hmm.
But I think I might have found my first huge investor. And she's
Awesome.
Bay Area local, and her son is in film school. So it could be a good
Awesome.
connection for all of us at some point.
That's
Um,
great. Congratulations.
well, we'll see. And the funny thing is, her maiden name is my old married name. So funny. Um, so I think, and then shooting the proof of concept was so fun, and doing a couple projects with SAG, I think, was something that I haven't had to do all the SAG paperwork. Now I've had to do it twice. So that has, kind of hard that I feel happy that I've done it. And I think just kind of stepping out and going to places like AFM or Sundance with you guys
Totally.
and just saying, okay, I'm just going to go and feel it out and figure out what it is and try to make things happen. And I think the goal I had maybe when we started this, I can't remember when we actually started this
We
uh,
started in May.
in May. I can't remember. I think if I put the goal of shooting our romantic comedy by the end of this year or the end of next year, I think I said by the end of 2025, and that will
Yeah.
stay my goal.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Um, but it's been a good year. I feel like a lot of connections and a lot of seeds are placed, and nothing's huge yet, but I feel like something 2025 is gonna happen, something. So
Awesome. Okay. Awesome. Thank you, Kelly. Yeah. Doing the SAG paperwork, that is an accomplishment. So if you have, questions about that, talk to Kelly. I just put this in the chat and I'll fill this out because I know you're in the car, Kelly. But
yeah.
put your name in there, your 2024 reflection, proud accomplishment, and your 2025 goals and plans.
Okay.
That would be fantastic. And we'll use this as a way to look back in a month or two or three as well. So cool. Thank you. What
Thanks.
else?
Nice to see everybody. I might be off camera driving, but
And
when I have
you're
to.
back, you're in the Midwest, right?
Yes, I'm in Cincinnati and met up with a couple film people while we're here.
Perfect.
But then just here with my family. So
Awesome. Enjoy. Thank you.
thank you.
All right. Welcome, Dashel. Who's next? Anything reflective from 2024? Feel free to type it in. Some people are different ways of learning and processing. Use that chat.
I can go just
Yeah.
quickly. Yes, hello everyone. Once again, happy holidays and happy, hopefully, long weekend or nice week ahead. For me, a proud moment was this whole year. It's not a moment, it's really just like thinking back of 2023 and years before, where this whole film production dream was a dream. But I believe that every dream can become a goal and can become a reality when you start putting intention into it, putting deadlines as well as effort and everyday action, and not just thinking, but action. So for me, this whole year was that process of aligning the dreams with the reality by taking steps every single day, however small or big, despite all the obstacles, despite the imposter syndrome, which was front and center,
Hmm.
and really using the transferable skills. And I just encourage everyone because we all come with a whole life of experiences and skills and reflections, and they can all be applied somewhere. We don't always believe in ourselves, we don't always believe in what we can do, or others say that we cannot do. And whichever way you believe, you're right, but you have to really live by your own truth. And that's what was the theme of this year, is really applying all those skills and going for the dream to make it reality. And it's been exactly 1 year since I left my full-time job, which was nice to have a paycheck and stability. But it's also nice to really see it's been a whole year and I'm still alive, and I'm not, going back to that, at least for now, and really putting all the energy, time, and effort into filmmaking, into writing, producing, directing, just doing all these multiple projects all at once. And I think that's really kind of a testament of going after your truth and your beliefs. So yeah, message to everyone, guys, you got this, keep going. It will change. It might not change for the better, but it will change. That's the beauty of life. Just being real.
We can always
And
count on change.
exactly. And Tony, again, I've said it many times and I'll say it again, online, offline, on paper, on digital formats. To you, the biggest thanks of the year, because you have been the person who actually made my imposter syndrome go in the corner and just stay there and not
Mm.
exactly go away, but just, silence it and make it less prominent. With effervescence, that was in May, which feels like a lifetime ago, but it did happen on May 1st. With Jessica was there and we were all shooting in one day. And since then, it has been nonstop, but it changed dramatically. And I do credit you, Tony, for actually making that push for me to like, you got this, whatever happens, it might suck, but it will still happen. So that was a good message for
Thank
me.
you. Right on.
Yes, you're welcome. And
That
thanks,
makes
guys,
me
for
so
being here.
happy.
And yeah,
You deserve
2025 is going to be amazing.
you deserve that, and you worked hard, and we're so glad that you intersected into this community and now have such a great prominent role of leadership. And because the way that you believed you could do it, it's impacted so many other people. Like how many people have gotten jobs because of you, paid work, right? Examples
Mhm.
of their talent. That's what makes me so happy, is that ripple effect of when we believe in our calling, right? It you can't help it to impact positively other people. I remember when Gwen was directing and you turned to me like, "Oh, this is so addicting. This is so amazing. I see why you love it so much." And then when we were writing checks, like a couple weeks later, she's like, "Oh, paying people is so amazing." I'm like, "Yep, totally. Isn't it like that is so empowering and powerful?" So yes, keep going. Amazing. Thank you, Olga. Dashel, you want to go next? Reflection and
Yeah.
talking about goals. Hi.
So, for me, I've been working on two projects. My documentary with my mom. We're currently just trying to figure things out. Taking a documentary film class. I did take a documentary film class at Foothill and passed 100%.
Yay. Awesome.
And that was a lot of fun. On and I'm also currently working on my very first 3D animated feature. It's a short film that's hopefully going to become a feature
Okay.
called 321, about like coming of age and like how people with Down syndrome deals with like friendships,
Mhm.
loneliness, and finding our place in the world, even if the short norms are kind of like against us per se, and how do we find our own way in that kind of society. And it's going really well. I'm working with Jackson and his dad, who I met in LA. And they reached out to me about this. So I'm like, of course, I'm in. And so, and the reason why I bring this up here is because like I'm like we need a crew for like art, voice actors and stuff like that. And so, it's going really well, and and looking back on 2024, I mean, like, it's like when you look back at the previous year, it makes you just see how far you have come.
Mm-hmm.
And going into a new year, how far are you willing to go to explore new interests, or expand more on one specific interest, or just in general of just exploring the cosmos and just living every moment of life on this planet. And as long as we accept ourselves for who we are, and that filmmakers and people in film in general are more than just filmmakers. We're human, and there's a gift in that, and that we can move as long as we continue to to look back into the past. Great stories will come out of that, and I want to see those stories on screen, because like not many people would know that life just keeps on happening, and that is a song that never ends. And I feel like BraveMaker really taught me a lot. And like every time I go on these calls, and every time I'm acting in one of Tony's amazing short films, it's more of the idea of family, and that when we come together, there is literally nothing in the cosmos that is standing in our way of becoming so much more than who we are meant to be. I mean, I like to, planet Earth is just a planet, but planet Earth is the people who and creatures who live on that planet. And it's when we come together, we can understand more about ourselves and how to move forward, or to overcome any form of prejudice or anything that stands in our way. And I think stories are the foundational way to really show the world who we are, and that storytelling alone can really start the world again.
Dashel, thanks for that TED Talk, dude. We need to give you a keynote at the film festival in July. That was great. This is all recorded. I'm going to turn that into some kind of video. That was great. Thank you, Dashel. We appreciate it. And I'm going to ask you something specific after everybody shares. I want you to think about that goal. You said you need more cast and crew. We'll talk when we hit the half hour after everyone shares some reflections and stuff about like specific plans, how we can get to accomplish these goals in 2025. Okay, so think through that. Thank you, Dashel. And welcome, Tamika. Sorry you didn't get the email. I just checked. You're on the list. So everybody is here because you got the new email, which is great. We have to change the link every few often because we put the link out, and it's just good to change it up everywhere. But I'll make sure you are on the list, and I'll send a calendar invite to make sure everybody is on that when it changes on the quarter. Okay, who else would like to share? In the chat, Tamika, I'll reshare the link, is a document for a communal reflection and goal sharing. There you go.
Okay, I will go.
Thank you, Malik.
Hi, everybody. So I also quit my day job December, I think it was 9th or 8th of 2023. And yeah, I've been doing acting and content creation this whole year, and wow, I did not think I was gonna get emotional. I'm just so happy that I was able to do it, but at the same time, like, you know how our brains are. We want more, we want to be independent. Um, so I'm so grateful for like all of you guys, especially like Olga and Shauna, who allowed me to be like the star in their film, which was so amazing. So I was able to do like so much independent film, and I just for this next year, I would love to continue to do more independent film and more like amazing projects like these. And at the same time, I also see my career going the SAG-AFTRA way because I've been wanting to join SAG forever. And I recently got LA representation. And then even more recently, I got Atlanta representation. So now I'm technically represented across the country because the Atlanta reps also submit me in New York and New Mexico and Florida and everywhere. So I'm a little bit overwhelmed because of the amount of time that I have to spend away from my house, which really hurts because I love my husband and I love my family. So I want to learn how to balance that and still like allow myself to do the things that I want and also spend time with my family. Because if I ever want children, that's going to be even worse. Because I know like children are your children and you want to be with them. So I'm just struggling right now with the idea of like choosing one or the other. It hurts. But I'm also really excited and really happy. So, my goals in 2025 is mostly to like continue all this momentum because I've done a ton of commercials and a ton of like I've starred and produced in a web series. Sorry, I have a hair in my face. I starred and produced in a web series, which was like too much, honestly. I did a couple of like features, independent features, a bunch of short films, like I just mentioned with Olga and Shauna. And so yeah, I want to find balance and continue the momentum where I'm going, which is like acting full time, and actually making like full-time income from it, which is pretty impossible. So I'm also developing like a side business um, with my YouTube channel where I approach companies and are like, hey, I'm going to take your acting class and I'll get a percentage based off of everybody that comes to your acting class because of my videos. So that's like basically becoming an influencer, but I've never really been able to monetize it in like a larger way. I don't think I've ever made more than like $8,000 from social media in 1 year. So those are my primary goals. And thank you for allowing me to be emotional.
Anytime. Thank you for that, Malika. It's a real challenge, right? Going after the goals and hearing you say the tension of, okay, I'm getting booked, and then that means I'm busy and having to sacrifice time and family and other dreams, right? It's real. So thank you for sharing. We hear you. We're with you. That's why I love this so much. Is just having my Monday start with hearing things and being taught, and as we end the year, just holding that for you and with you. And yeah, it's so good and so complicated, but I want to applaud you for believing in yourself, taking steps of faith out there, and love that we could see the collaborations even just on the Zoom of things that were made together. That's pretty cool. Awesome. Anybody else want to share?
So I would like to go because I'm like liable to become emotional as well, and I figure we might as well just put all the
Bring it.
emotionalness right together. Um, I I was thinking about, a year ago, I had not ever done any grant writing before, and a year ago, I hadn't been part of the festival for the whole cycle, and I'd never been on a jury, and I had never done a live pitch contest, and I didn't think of my short as something that I had just written it and put it aside, and didn't really think anything of it. And um, so, thinking about the past year, it's been such an incredible year for me. Getting Ransom off the ground was completely unexpected. And it feels like from August to now, it's like I lived a whole life in that 4 months. And the emotional part of it is that it's weird lately. Instead of like, I had such a high after the shoot, and lately I've sort of crashed off of that. And it's been really hard to keep the momentum going because I set the shoot date, and I set the shoot date because if I had a shoot date, then I had to get everything done and do the shoot. And now there isn't a deadline like that, and I operate. It turns out I operate really well under deadlines. Um, so there's also this sense of, oh my gosh, like the next thing that I really want to do is I really want to direct a feature. And I want to go back because I haven't been writing as much because I've been doing so many logistical things for Ransom. And so like those are obviously the two things now that I love, right? It used to be just writing, and now, oh shoot, I also love directing. And it's overwhelming to me. So I it's really helpful to listen to everybody talk about, what their year was like, and to talk about goals because it's really energizing for me, and it helps me to like take a breath and just say, I I don't have to do everything all at once. A year is kind of a long time. This year has been a really long year, right? When I think back. And so just just don't freak out about it, and don't feel like you have to fix everything all at once or it all has to be great all the time or any of those things. So I just really appreciate this community for being for kind of like giving me what I want, what I need to hear right when I need to hear it. So thank you to everybody.
Thank you, Gwen, for sharing. And yeah, if there's anything I can do, we can do for that post-production crash. It's such a real thing. And sometimes it's so squishy. So I do have a thought maybe we could share in the second half, but thank you for sharing and exciting. You did accomplish a freaking lot. And, through this community, seeing all the ways you were able to employ people and go after it. And I truly believe you will make a feature. That's going to be exciting to see. Yes, own it. It's great. All right, who is next? Who is next?
Yeah, I'll go.
You
I
go.
I think thank you first and foremost for everyone sharing their journey and kind of in this year. I think it, once again, it feels like you're not alone on these Mondays. It's like a reminder that there's a lot of similarities in uh, everything that was said by each and one of you. So I think I have a hard time sometimes reflecting because I'm like, the job's not done, So I also, or I'm like trying to yeah, just that mindset of like, I don't want to look at the replays right now. I want to keep going, right? But the truth is that when you do reflect, I think it prepares you for the future. And I think one thing that came up for me was uh, with this film festival, pitching this short film I just started working on. Like I was on a high of doing the first documentary and getting pretty good feedback, and I'm connecting with the community to a story that was super close to home because it deals with just the housing crisis and things that family and friends have dealt with. So entering this new phase of like writing a screenplay based on the experience I had as a kid, as a teenager, and sharing it to a courtroom in front of an audience was like something I wasn't prepared for this year. And, Tony, thank you for even just the opportunity of getting in front of these industry professionals. And just, I was really having someone, I think Olga mentioned like the imposter effect there. Yeah, just feeling like, oh, I'm not worthy of this. And but as I started sharing my story, and Stacey, I remember you saying just speak from your personal experience. I think that was a moment in which you were able to connect rather than being like, I have to have this specific format. And that was a big game changer for me. It led to like including this additional scene to the short, and now we're in editing and post and really like bouncing back different ideas and creative ideas around it. But I don't think I get to that part without sharing and stepping out of my comfort zone and sharing this pitch. Like I think that was a really monumental moment for me this year. And I intend to grow more in that and just develop more skills. And even with the creative community that I'm part of, as far as outside of like here in San Francisco, I mean, seeing them also interact with BraveMaker. I think we were just at the mixer and I'm seeing like childhood friends show up because they saw us on social media share about this. And she's like, I always wanted to get into acting. And that was like, I was blown away because I just was not expecting. I'm like, yo, we literally grew up together. Now you're showing up to this creative space that is very close to heart. So yeah, you just want to say thank you to all of you. Yeah. And thanks, Tony, for creating
Heck
space.
yeah. My heart is warmed. That's really awesome and encouraging. And that just makes me think too, if you're a few of you say some sort of similar things, I'm thinking about 2025 and what kind of sessions we should have. It sounds like pitching sessions should be something we should try doing more intentional education on pitching. And then we just do a pitch session and try to find some people. And maybe we throw a little bit of like small, small Las Vegas coins in the mix, like maybe $100 for whatever. I know that I don't always like the competition end, but maybe we could incentivize something a little bit. So that's good. Thank you, Figo, for sharing. And it is cool to see more people grow in the community because when you simply share on social media, people see it, people are watching, people lurk, they'll never make comments or say they like it or anything, but they'll show up. And I hear people say all the time, yeah, I've been seeing you do this. I'm like, well, it'd be nice if you just say hi or say something. Like that's so it's wild. But keep doing, keep sharing. And that's again why we're starting the monthly meetup, just as a reminder. So now every first Thursday, y'all, boom, boom, boom. So hopefully you got this in the email, and these are included in your membership. So you could have these, and we're going to be doing not just eating, drinking, and being merry, but we'll be doing some intentional table reads or showcases. So
Do
I'm
you
stoked.
do you have any plans for the LA meetup?
Yes, my next one is going to be January 8th. I don't haven't even started to promote it yet,
Okay.
but January
Okay,
8th,
cool.
I'll still keep going down. I'll switch from east side to north to west side. It's cool. It's growing. Things are growing. Oh, it's so
Yeah,
exciting.
the last LA one, I was like starstruck.
Uh-huh. People be showing. No, it's good. I'm excited. Cool. Well, thank you for that, Figo. And yeah, I also think too, just again to kind of toot the horn a little bit, you made something really great. I mean, I feel like did we show it? We showed it at least no, three times. We showed it once here at our space. We got you that Novato thing, and then at the film festival. Is it three or was yeah? I mean, when you make something good, like we just like, yeah, we're gonna keep getting it out. And hopefully that's gonna be more and more of our future is elevating your all's voices. Cool. Who else wants to share anything?
No way to postpone LA for 1 week.
I'll be
Selfishly asking for a friend.
I know. I've got my tickets already. I haven't promoted it yet, but just being Sundance is like the following week. I was like, let me just get it in before so it's not too close to Sun. Okay, who else would like to share? And you choose. Oh, go ahead, Tamika. Yeah.
Um, First of all, thank you. It's been great to be a part of this community. Even though I've been juggling like crazy. Sometimes I'm on and sometimes I'm not visually
You're in
on,
the
but I'm always
airport. You're going through
there.
TSA.
Yeah. But thank you for the community. Thank you for the reading of my script. It was really helpful to inspire me because I too have felt a little bit overwhelmed this year. It's been such a magical journey with my film, and but I'm also in the middle of a transition myself. The corporate creative job that I was doing for 7.5 years, I'm now phased out of that. And so I'm focusing completely on my creative path and journey, which of course is a little bit scary, but also exciting. So that's yeah, I really feel like there's a lot of reflection and meditating and gratitude writing and all of that visualization that's going to be happening over the next few days. So um I'm just grateful to be here, grateful to see what's next. And that reading really helped kicked off what one of the things that I want to be next for me next year, which is to actually oh, can you guys hear that? Oh, I'm sorry.
Not really.
Okay, there we go. Which is to shoot that film, raise money and shoot that film, and also continue raising money for my feature. So that's kind of what my goals are, and just on a personal level to be disciplined about my time because I'm not. I don't know, that's why. And so I really need to you know, that's my main goal. Be disciplined about my time. And I feel like I can get a lot more done, feel a lot more productive. And yeah, so I appreciate this community. Thank you all so much. And thank you.
Tamika, we're grateful that you swooped into the festival and you're sweeping all across the country. It really is cool. And again, both you and Gwen, congratulations for your grants. It is awesome. And I get excited thinking about the future of our intersections and what you all will go on to. And I know you've all been, working, Tamika, you've been working hard with this, Superman doesn't steal and what that means and the story. And so, yeah, however we can help on the next end of your next short to feature, that's what we want to be about. We're here. So, and I hope you all are planning July 10th through the 13th, regardless if you have a film or not, just being a part of the team or attending or volunteering, because I think this year, again, might probably be the smallest. And I don't want to say that funding is going to be there. We're going to get the funding. It looks bleak, not as bleak as it was last year. We had no money in December last year. We have a $5,000 already with another $5,000 committed for the film festival. So that's good. We did not have that last year. And that's particularly because Stacy is working her butt off so much making connections. So thank you to Stacy for really getting us into a lot of places, and that'll continue in Sundance. But regardless of how much we have sponsorship, we're still going to have a kick-ass festival that'll probably be bigger than last year with doing less. But I really think, again, it's about the people. It's about how we get people in a room talking, collaborating, and just showing work and talking about it. So I'm trying to focus on that and not the lack of funds or resources. Just like, we're going to do big things, we're going to make big things happen, and that's going to be part of the story. I just don't want anybody to be run out or broke down or burnt out in the process, especially myself. So. All right, Atomic Habits, I put in the chat if you don't know that. Oh, get that book if you're looking into 2025 and changing stuff up and being better with your time or schedule. Oh, yes, good. Boom, boom, shakalaka. Do it. Oh my. Good night.
It is
Yep.
a very good book, and I think rereading it
Yeah.
is always great.
Love. Good. Uh-huh. Dang, I need to buy it, Stacy says. Yeah, good. And we'll try to be this is a good atomic habit. This is a habit, right? Meeting regularly, making space, prioritizing your work. That's great. Okay, cool. Who else wants to share? Shauna, Stacy. You don't have to. Shauna, Stacy, you want to?
Hi guys. I guess I'll go. I put it in the chat too, but I'll see it here again. Oh, when I think about this year, I think about like the intense, long journey that's still happening with my project Three Wishes. That definitely was not a boring journey.
Mm,
Um, I feel like I really pushed myself as a creator, as a writer and director because of how ambitious it was. But I'm also really, really grateful because it led me here and it led me to Tony and Belhika and Olga and so many other people who are in the community who just really like supported it from day one, and was like excited about it and even like through the whole process, even before shooting and after shooting, offered like so many amazing ideas and great ideas to really like level it up. And um it was really, really hard at times, but it was also really like the process of making it, I mean, but it was also very like enriching and magical and funny, and it definitely taught me a lot that I can take with me for my next projects. Um, and so, yeah, I'm really grateful for all of that. I felt like it also really helped me get a lot more involved with the local film community, which is something that I've been wanting for a long time and trying to like build towards for a long time. And sorry if I sound stuffy. I think I'm coming down with something, by the way.
Okay.
But yeah, it was a really amazing accomplishment this year, I think, and I'm really grateful for it.
Thank you, Shauna. Yeah, you should be totally proud of that. Again, someone who paid people and raised money and also used her own money out of your pocket. That's a big deal to value people. I think that's really, really
Yes. And
huge.
now I've learned to not spend so much out of pocket
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
on someone's
Good
but
learning lesson. I told Shauna because I saw the cut, and Olga and I are making notes and encouraging, the next version of it. It's at a really good place. And I told Belhika, I texted her, there's some really great moments that I think for her will just look great for her acting reel too. So again, thank you. When you commit to your dreams, it impacts other people and gives them and elevates them. So that just is so rewarding. Kudos. Okay. Stace, you're up. All right.
Yeah, so for me, just that overall BraveMaker's been really inspiring to me, seeing people, in action making films. When I moved here from LA, I, was seeking a film community, and just the as active as BraveMaker is, it was just a lot of touch points for me to constantly be around creative people like yourselves. So that was very inspiring. Being in the mastermind has been helpful every Monday. And I was particularly inspired by Brittany Nichols' interview, because she talked about doing her feature in 5 days, $5,000. And, obviously everyone, no one, I mean, people don't have to do that. But for me personally, it was inspiring. So that's something that I would like to do. And also reflection, some of you know about the insurance issue with my DP on a film that I recently did, lost the footage, but I think it was insurance fraud, as I've told some of you, but the reflection is to have your contracts straight, and then also like better discernment with deception and people, because in this industry, unfortunately, like everywhere, just people may not have good intentions for you, even though BraveMaker is a, positive community, but everyone is not like that. So just lessons for me of how I could have better detected this early, because there were signs that I didn't act on. So yeah.
Stacey, if you don't know the behind the scenes, we should do a session around this, which is really kind of like, I would even say like learning about the indie protections we can be doing for ourselves. And those of you who are going to Sundance because of what I learned through Stacey, just, I trust all of you. I totally do. Right. And at the same time, you just never know when someone's going to say they're going to sue you because something got stolen, or I'm thinking in Sundance, like someone could fall on the ice and then sue me or whatever. It's like those little practical things that I think we have had little breadcrumbs through our sessions about. Even when you're working with friends, get every legal I dotted and T crossed. Just protect yourself, and hopefully, if someone feels offended, like why do we need this contract? And some of we reached that in a relationship with one of our vendors at the film festival, a partner that we had, that we were like, you know what, even though we're friends, let's just get this in writing, because it should be like that. It's professional. And if your friends who are also partners or collaborators or vendors push back on that, that's a red flag. And so thank you, Stacey, for sharing so much. And you are a phenomenal person, human being, let alone board member and filmmaker. And I'm super glad to partner with you and support you and learn from you. And I want to say, like, that's one of the things. I'll go last, and then we'll chat about what is next steps for us. One of the things I put in my box is I'm proud of the boundaries that I'm learning to put out there, like just being able to say no to people. I've said no to a couple projects that, sometimes I want to do everything, and I will work for free. I will still work for free and show up to people's sets and support when I believe in them, when I can make it. But there are times when I have strangers or people that I don't believe in the project or I don't feel is a right fit for me that I've been able to say no to. And I want to celebrate that. Like saying no is a good thing, that feels really good to me. And I'm proud of this community. Like I just, as I'm raising money, some of you know my background in faith communities. Faith communities sometimes they raise money based on like, life impact, or in some churches, Tamika, a pastor will say, put money in the pot because we're changing the future, or eternity is being impacted, lives, that kind of thing. And I'm very careful with how the story is told in regards to BraveMaker, because I never want anyone to feel uncomfortable with any of that kind of language. But I think there is something super powerful that I'm proud of in this community, that lives are being changed. People are feeling valued. People are their creative calling is being satisfied. They don't feel alone. And I've been using that word belonging a little bit more. Like we have created a space that people feel like they belong. I belong, and I want that. So thank you for letting me receive too. I'm super, super proud of that and what we've created. And let's go more with that. And then for 2025, part of my plans are I've already started casting for this feature film that I co-wrote and I'm producing. It's called 33 Days. It's a true story that happened in the Tenderloin with this guy named Roger. So that is moving ahead after 10 years. And some of you know my friend Ed died in July, who was one of the producers. So I might get emotional on this too, but his birthday is Christmas Day. And there was so many times, I feel like almost every month, I would pick up the phone to text him. Like it just was like an instinct, and he's not there anymore. It's just wild. So I'm doing this obviously because I want to get this feature film done, but I keep telling myself for Ed. And that feels really, really good to be able to do this and finally be in the home stretch. I also, Stacy, to your comment about Brittany, I'm going to do with the BraveMaker Academy, I'm going to do an improv feature. I'm going to call it like an intensive feature weekend at the end of May, beginning of June, just to try it. I've never done it before. I've done this with shorts, and I'm like, why not? I'm going to get, thank you for saying Ed is proud. Thank you. In May or June, I'm going to do this with 8 actors through our academy. And I'm very excited. I have this idea to do like a kind of a murder mystery weekend retreat kind of meta, like where 8 actors go to make a movie and then someone dies. So I'm going to play with that idea. I'm very excited about that. And then finally, going to Atomic Habits. I am taking a class in January to write a pilot with Scriptapalooza. I'm very nervous about this. I've never done it. It's a pilot in a month. So I'm stoked on that. And then I'm continuing with Roadmap Writers. I got into the top tier thing, which is where you do a lot of pitching to managers. And so I'm just doing that for myself because I need to invest in myself. So that's a lot of plans and goals, but I will use this to kind of like transition to what I want to talk maybe about the last 15 minutes is, okay, if we have these goals, what are some of the plans that we need to put into our schedule? What are some of the things that we need to do? Like looking at our year even, and I'll show you just a kind of a little thing I'm working on right now. Everybody's got to figure out what works for themselves, but I'd love to kind of transition to saying, okay, what specifically, because there is a difference between making goals and resolutions. We know this, right? And then planning those goals, like planning for success. Gwen said putting the dates on her calendar made it more real to actually execute upon that short that she was doing. So let's chat about that. I'll just quickly show you. It's very, very rough. This was actually helpful for me with my wife because we, speaking of Belgica family and balancing, I try to be careful, like not to be out more than 2 nights a week. And, then like, how many nights am I gone overnight? It's a balancing juggling act. So I just started this and I have never done this before. So it's very, very rough, but I'm looking at basically all of 2025, and I'm putting these bullet points about what nights will I be out? What am I going to do? Right. I know I'm going to be going to the West Side in February on, what day? So I'm starting to look at this thing. I know I'm going to be out on Wednesday nights for the academy, and then look, I've got like festival and then fest cleanup for 5 days. So I'm putting these things on a high level document so that I can, for my own self, start to plan these things. And if I want to do I even have it in here yet? No, I don't have it in. I have a graduation in June for my daughter. This should be June. But in May, I want to do that improv weekend, right? So I'm putting this in here so that I can plan it, look at what I need to do the backing up of. If I'm going to do this improv feature in May, well, that means what am I doing up here in February to do it? I need to be writing that, right? Writing the scriptment for the improv feature. So this is something that I wanted to share with you all. I don't know whatever your plans are or whatever your practical scheduling looks like, but I think this is something that takes that atomic habit thing to reality. Is like, you can't just talk about it, but actually do it. Like, I'm working out 3 days a week. I am eating, breakfast. I am going on a meeting or an audition. These are things that are in our calendar. So throwing that out there, anybody who wants to share or discuss anything that you want to be documented or recorded here that you can go back and look at. And also, are there things that we can help each other with? Like, for instance, going back to you, Dashiell, you said you need a cast and crew, but specifically, what does that look like? What can we do to help you make this documentary? Do you need a DP? Do you need a producer? What are the things that we need to get on paper so that we can make this goal of yours become a reality, right? See what I'm saying? And I'll just open it up for any kind of ideas or thoughts. Okay, sorry, last thing I'm going to say, I'm going to put this in the chat for anybody who's doing animation. I'm thinking of you, Dashiell. These are former interns that worked with BraveMaker early on. They did this. I'll put the link in the chat. They did this little animation of the bandits from Home Alone. It's so good. And they have a whole slew of portfolio of things that they've done. I love their style. They did one thing for me years ago, and then I tried to hire them again at one point. And they're like, "Oh my gosh, we're booked until 2024." At the time, they're so good. So their names are Liz and Ivy. That's their YouTube channel. So I'll put that in the chat for anybody who wants to connect with. Go ahead, Olga. I see your hand up. Or Dashiell too. Did you want to say anything?
Yeah. For my documentary about Down syndrome, I feel like I'm going to need people in financing in to help with, like, figure out how to get grants, because I don't really know much about financing. Plus, I'm terrible at math, even though I did pass my math class with a B minus. But
you need an executive producer, someone to fund it.
Yeah. I think we're going to need professional, like, people working on him with the cameras. We're gonna be going to one of the asylums. That was transformed into a haunted house in called Penhurst in Pennsylvania.
Do you have all this in a document somewhere, Dashiell?
I been writing up some, like,
Okay.
scenes for, like, I'm trying to break down individual scenes that were edited together into one master script.
Will you be in front of the camera a lot?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
But my mom wants to film me making the movie to show that I'm the one behind this all the way. Hey, I'm gonna be, like, interviewing parents and their children with Down syndrome, talking about out when they learned that their child had Down syndrome. Was that relationship like growing up and stuff like that. So I'm gonna be.
So can I make a suggestion for you, for us? Because I would love to help with this.
Sure.
I really think, you can tell your mom and we can have an email. Just let's get a day where we get a cinematographer and a sound recorder and a location on the calendar, and you invite the people that you want to start, even just getting some people to start talking about them and interviewing them, and get a day of footage that you can put together a little sizzle reel for 2 or 3 minutes to start talking and promoting this film is in action. I think is a great way to start. And I know I'd be willing to help produce that. I know that there's enough cinematographers and sound recorders that if we just gave them a fair rate for the day that we could get some momentum going. And I know one of our editors, who's an intern with us, Marcus, he's been texting me. He's on break, and he's going to be editing some of Shauna's BTS for Three Wishes, because he's like, I want to edit, I got time. So I know we can help put this together, so let's get a date together. Let's get an email going. If there's anybody else who wants to talk through or help with that, or knows people who would be willing to support it, then great. Olga, I see your hand up. Go for it.
Yeah, thank you. Speaking of dates and having that end result in mind, I think it's really important for us creatives to not be carried away too much with the creative process and all those fun conversations and just minutiae that happens, of course, and it's an important part of development. But really, kind of one of the transferable skills that I had from tech was having that strategic planning in place. So whenever there's a project that you want to make, it's good to have kind of like that date in mind to do backward calculation. So you don't just think, oh, spring I'll do this, summer no, that's not good enough. It's not granular enough. Like it's better to have this months and even dates if possible on a more detailed level to actually execute and see if I'm behind, if I'm actually moving according to my schedule, according to my goals. And for next year, there's a lot going on. So I'll share with you guys a couple of things that I have on the slide, but a quick context is that for January, it's completely booked. I have a short film that I'm producing. We're shooting January 9th and then 13th, 14th, 15th. A short film for day production called Know When. It's a sci-fi about time travel. Very cool. And then in March, we're shooting a feature film that I'm also producing. It's about women's sports cricket team formed in suburban California. So that's going to be 1 month's production, and it will, of course, already, but require even more effort and attention. But that means those 2 months until really end of May, nothing can happen for me because I cannot say yes to other projects, which I have been saying no to some people, and just being real. But when it comes to what can happen for me, and that's, if you guys saw in the list, Code Desk, this is the feature that I'm writing. I have 10 pages to go. It's my third feature script that I really am going to make. This is my statement to the world, to you guys, so you hold me accountable. And if I'm not done with it next year, you can come back with me, yell at me. But it's really important for me to make this feature because it's been my really the only project, the one project that I'm just so passionate about. And it has to come to life, and I don't know what's the sharing. But this is basically, there's a whole pitch deck with all the information that I'll present to people as well, and to get funding and to get attention to it. But in a nutshell, that's kind of what it looks like. I want to have it done and shown at this specific film festival that begins with an S in 2027. And why 2027 is because realistically, it's just not going to happen sooner. And backward calculation, because the festival is in January 2027. So that means I have to have it done in the summer 2026 because submission dates usually happen way before the January. So it will be somewhere in August 2026. So it means it's distribution, PR, festival, submission, marketing, but then going back from that. So I need to do post-production in the spring of 2026, right? Between January and March, first quarter, which means I need to get funds for it. That will be backward 1 quarter in the end of 2025. That means the principal photography can only happen in October of next year, which is so soon. It's less than a year away. But really 1 month should be enough for a feature. And that means as soon as these 2 projects are done in May, June immediately begins fundraising, begins all of the communication, getting funds, getting support for a few months because it will require some serious backing. But then in the meantime, starting May, there will be some bedded reads, table reads, and communications and casting as well. So that's really coming up soon. And this is kind of my very high level plan. Of course, projects usually have detailed ones, but this is what I have for now. And this is how this will be possible, just having that final goal in mind and then calculating backward. And of course, as we get to actual production, having those more granular milestones in place. So yeah, just encouragement to everyone to follow your own passions, but also if you see me not doing any of this next year, please make it known as well.
Thanks, Olga. We should definitely do a session too in January about this, like looking at how your plans are coming along, because there is a difference between goals and plans. Planning to achieve the goal is really important. Well, anybody else, any thoughts or ideas or any cross-pollination things you heard people say they want to do that you want to support or tag on to?
I
I definitely am the person that does like the by this date I want to do this, you know? But I have a vision board. I've been making vision boards since I was like 15. I finally gave up on them because I was like, am I allowed to cuss?
Yeah.
I'm like, this bitch is not working. Let's stop. Let's stop doing it. And I was talking to my therapist because I've been in therapy, thankfully, for the last couple months, which has been super helpful to just talk to somebody professional that's like, you're not crazy. I'm like, thank you. But she convinced me to do my vision board again and like really believe in myself because she's like, maybe you just have limiting beliefs. And I was like, I definitely do. So I'm gonna create my vision board between Christmas and New Year's. And then I'm going to have a second vision board that's empty that throughout the year, I'm going to put stuff, move stuff from my vision board to my empty
Mm.
one. And even things that I might not have on my vision board, if I do accomplish something like I booked effervescence, I booked 3 wishes, put it on there. Like even things that I didn't do because I clearly remember so many years ago, I don't know, 4, 5 years ago, one of my plans in my vision board was create one independent short film a month and like connect with an independent filmmaker once a month. Of course, it didn't happen back then, but what happened this year? I was on set with an independent filmmaker at least twice a month. So I was like, it was delayed, but it happened.
Mm.
So that's one of the things that how I want to like have it in my office and visually when I am in my office. That's another thing that I want to replicate this in my other place so that I feel like at home in both places. So I might have to do the vision board twice so I can have it in LA and in the Bay, and feel more grounded. Because I feel like every time I travel, it's also really hard to like get back into my morning routine and working out, which of course helps a lot of us, our brains to like be stable throughout the day, like start with the workout. And I feel like whenever I travel, it almost feels like, wait, you just traveled, so you need a day off. And I'm like, well, you don't have time for a day off. You need to get back onto it immediately. You don't get to choose when you have days off. So yeah, vision board. And then my planner. I've been using Passion Planner for like, I don't even remember, many years. And that one has like monthly check-ins with yourself. And I put like my goals like, like February 1st, you're supposed to have done this. And yeah.
Beautiful. Okay. Any other inspirations or reflections on what Belhika said or anything you want to share? Got a minute or two left. I will tell you too, next thing we're going to do is, yeah, please go ahead, Gwen, share something. We are going to start a private Facebook group as well that people can share on ideas or reflections or when we have a guest speaker. So that'll be something new in 2025 as well, so that you'll have an ability to kind of throughout the week be posting things, interacting. And the price will never go up for you all, by the way. Okay. Those of you who are registered members, you always will pay whatever price you entered in, but it will go up to 125 for new members on January 6th, which is our next one with Mike Blizzard, who's the producer. By the way, you should watch Hitman and watch Boyhood. Watch all of the films he produced with Richard Linklater before January 6th, so you could say, hey, that scene, or hey, I watched that movie, or what was, just watch all the stuff, and that'll be a great way to get connected. Gwen, what you got?
Sorry. I just
No
want to
apology.
say one more thing, which emotional again. Keep doing what you're doing because you don't know who you're affecting. You don't know when something is going to hit somebody, right? Because Tony knows this, but he hasn't said anything about it, which is that there was the, when we screened the film No Right Way, a friend of mine came, and because Tony always brings nonprofit organizations that are related to the theme of the film, she ended up signing up with CASA, which is the the organization that provides legal, essentially, like, what would you say, like, not representation, but
Like court advocacy, court support.
advocacy, right? So volunteers, they go with a foster child to all of their court hearings and all of their lawyer meetings. And so she's an advocate for a foster child now. And that happened because she came to a screening at BraveMaker. And so, BraveMaker was a conduit for a caring adult to be there for a foster child in the world. And so you just don't know, like you don't see the effects necessarily, but you're having an effect on people with what you're doing. So just keep doing it.
Love it. Well, I know we're at time, but anybody else want to share anything? Yeah, that is amazing. And that's what we want more and more of those kind of things is people being able to literally say their life has changed and they're changing other lives. Go for it. I see Kelly. I see Dashel. Kelly, go for it.
Love you, ladies that are doing the goal setting with the measured, that even thinking maybe getting a small group together to sit down and do some of that together and check and balance each other, because that's definitely one thing I need help with. I commit to too much and then don't do anything well, I feel like. So definitely.
Yeah, that's
Love
great
it.
too.
Thanks
Please,
for inspiring each other. Yeah.
please do that. It's a great idea, Kelly. Is like spawn off other things. Like get a Zoom together. Like let's check in on Friday or every other whatever. You want to do other things, and then you can tell the group or not, or just DM each other the people that you want to bring in there. That's fantastic. That's great. Anybody else have a thought or question? And I will be sharing. This is what the group will look like. It says BraveMaker Mastermind. It'll be like a Facebook. If you're not on Facebook, I don't know. I think you can still access it if you're not, but we'll be posting things in there regularly and announcements and that kind of stuff. Okay, so be on the lookout for that. Dasha, what you got?
I just want to say thank you so much for just having an amazing year of BraveMaker, and everything is just so amazing. The guest speakers were just well organized. Tony, you really went full out with everything, and everyone on this call. I can't believe I'm saying this, but we are like a family. And through this past year, I really felt that, and it really inspires me to continue telling stories. But also, I see you guys more than just an amazing group. We are like, yeah, we are like, in a way, a family. And that's emotionally impacting for me.
Yeah, right on.
Love it.
Love that. Love that. Love that.
As of you guys and all of BraveMaker makes me feel like I can be myself, to express myself, because that's what storytelling is all about. And there's nothing that I won't do to who we'll always find a way to make sure that I'll make sure that everyone gets their happily ever after like we all deserve. And I'll go to the ends of the earth to make it happen.
Do it, Dashel, for all of us. Thank you. All right, that's a great place to end. Really wish you all a Merry Christmas and thank you and happy holidays. I do. Oh, real quick, we haven't announced it, but it will be out soon. So we have first week, Mike Blizzard, producer. Second week will be our second Oscar winner, and his name is Michael Semenick. And Kelly and I got to meet him at a film premiere. He is a sound designer, so look him up, Michael Semenick. He has been on everything: Lord of the Rings, Wall-E, Transformers, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. Just tons and tons. And he's San Francisco based. So I also invited him to come to the film festival in July. So he'll be with us January 13th. So we got some really great things coming up. Okay. Thanks, y'all. We'll see you on January 6th, if not before.
Bye.
Bye, everybody. Thank you
Have
so
a
much.
great Christmas.
Appreciate y'all. See you.